If you look at the bottom part of the windshield on the new C8, you'll notice a silhouette of a man's head. That man is Zora Arkus Duntov, a Belgian-born American engineer whose work on the Corvette earned him the nickname Father of the Corvette. But if this was an episode of Jerry Springer, he would yell, "You, sir, are not the father," and that's because the inventor of the Corvette was a man by the name of Harley Earl. So why is Zora's silhouette on the new C8 Corvette? Well, because it was Zora who was pushing GM to make the Corvette mid-engined as early as the 1970s. However, as we all know, GM didn't listen, and a mid-engined Corvette didn't get the approval of the top brass until 2019. My name is Omar, and I've already tested the 2022 C8 Corvette convertible with the Z51, but this time I'm testing the 2022 C8 Corvette without the Z51. So is the new C8 Corvette a supercar? Some will say yes, some will say no. To me, it definitely is. The Corvette now finally has a mid-engine setup, and with the addition of the Z51 package, this thing will do 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds. 2.9 to be exact, and some have even done it in 2.8. But what if you don't have the Z51 package? What if you don't spend the extra $6,345 for the Z51? Is the new Corvette still a supercar? And that's what we're really going to focus on today. When the C8 Corvette first dropped, GM kept its promise of keeping the price tag under $60,000, $59,995 to be exact. However, 2 years later, it now starts at over $62,000. Adding on the Z51 will send the price tag over $68,000. But do you really need to spend that much, if not more? Let's break it all down. No matter what, it is completely amazing that a car like this costs under $100,000. So as standard, you get the 6.2-liter V8 mated to an 8-speed dual-clutch transmission, aluminum stainless steel quad exhaust tips that look and sound amazing. Stopping power comes from these strong Brembo brakes, and you get a limited slip differential. But if you want more out of the Corvette, you can throw on the Z51 Performance Package for an extra $6,345. And not only does that give you slightly a bit more power, but it also gives you the ability to go from 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds. It adds on a bunch of extra equipment that is actually required for track use, or so GM says. It'll throw on upgraded Brembo brakes with the front rotor size going up from 12.6 to 13.6 and the rear rotor size going up from 13.3 to 13.8. It'll give you better Michelin Pilot Sport 4S high-performance tires instead of the all-season tires that you see here. You get a Z51 performance suspension with higher front and rear spring rates and firmer dampers. You get a Z51 specific front splitter and a rear spoiler that adds 400 pounds of additional downforce that improves stability at higher speeds. And since you'll most likely track your Z51 equipped Corvette, you get better cooling with more radiators and a transmission cooler. Your limited slip differential becomes electronically controlled, and you also get a shorter final drive ratio of 5/17 to improve your acceleration. Now, one more thing, at this point I'd also recommend adding on the magnetic ride control for an extra $1,895, which for 2022 you can now get without the Z51 package. Not only will that help adjust the dampening faster than you can blink so you can enjoy a comfortable road cruise or a high-performance track run, but when put together with the Z51 package, it will also give you the Performance Traction Management System, which offers 5 mode settings of torque reduction and brake intervention for more performance. So if you really want to go all out and really enjoy the Corvette with the Z51 package, the magnetic ride control system, and the Performance Traction Management System, you're really starting at $71,380 for the 1LT. Now from there, most of the cool tech stuff is essentially standard, but the 2LT and the 3LT will really keep you satisfied. All trims of the Corvette come standard with the 12-inch digital instrument display that looks really sharp and really crisp. It has a lot of info in a bunch of viewable modes, including Tour, which looks nice and calm. You have Track, which gives you the most relevant info for when you're racing on the track, and Sport, which is my personal favorite. I like the way Sport looks quite a bit. You also get this 8-inch touchscreen display as standard with wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. The native navigation is standard on the 2LT and the 3LT. A 10-speaker Bose sound system is standard, and it sounds pretty nice. The 2 and the 3LT come with a 14-speaker Bose sound system. A wireless charger is only standard on the 2LT and the 3LT. All Corvette trims do come standard with the dual zone climate control system, and all trims get an 8-way power adjustable driver seat as standard and an 8-way power adjustable passenger seat as standard. Memory seats are only available on the 2LT and the 3LT, as are heated and cooled seats and a heated steering wheel if you want to keep your hands warm. Now, if you want a strong safety and camera game, go for the 2 and 3LT. With those two trims, you'll get an HD rear and front vision camera. The front camera is really awesome for when you're parking the Corvette, so you don't end up damaging your front end. You also get an HD rear view mirror camera, which I never really like using because it makes me dizzy, but it makes sense here since the rear visibility in here is not that great. The 2LT and the 3LT will also give you the performance data recorder so you can record your lap times on the track. You also get blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, park assist, a heads-up display, and much more. Without the Z51 package, the 6.2-liter V8 sitting behind you will make 490 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque, and those figures are nothing to frown upon, but adding on the Z51 will increase those numbers to 495 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque, and that's not really much of a difference, and it shouldn't matter. And they don't. What matters is everything else that I told you about earlier. Adding the Z51 just gives the C8 Corvette more in every sense. Yes, it has a little bit more power, but it also has a better suspension, better handling, a much better steering feel, and put all that together with stronger brakes, and this thing just becomes a whole new beast. Now, I've tested the C8 Corvette with the Z51 package a while back, and I still remember how sharp it was. This one that I'm testing here is a non Z51, and it definitely feels different. It's not bad, it just feels a bit held back. I've hit 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds. Others apparently have done it in 3 seconds flat. But what stands out the most to me is the difference in the steering feel, the suspension, and the brakes. The brakes are the most obvious difference. The Z51 just gives you better and bigger brakes, like much better brakes. The suspension on the Z51 is definitely firmer than this. It's still comfortable, but definitely firmer than without it. No matter what mode you're in, you can be in track mode or you can pop it into Z mode, and this thing feels luxury smooth. And with the addition of the magnetic ride control system, it feels that much smoother, almost like a Grand Tourer. And hey, if that's your thing and you're not going to be taking this to the track, then save yourself over $6,000 and go for the non Z51. For example, I'm in track mode and I'm flooring it. Sounds great, moves really quick, shifts amazingly fast, but it just doesn't feel as aggressive as the Z51 that I drove. This is so comfortable, but the biggest difference to me is still the steering feel and the brakes. You really notice the difference there quite a bit. Now, I'm not sure if there's any major changes to the steering wheel between the Z51 and the non-Z51, but I definitely feel it. This steering doesn't feel as sharp as the one with the Z51. It's still solid, but if you like a steering feel with sharp and precise feedback, you're going to want to spend the extra money. But hey, to be completely honest, even without the Z51, the Corvette still feels outstanding. A 0 to 60 time of less than 3.5 seconds is still very impressive. It still handles great and you can still track it. But the best part is that this is the perfect daily driver. You can use this as your everyday supercar without hurting your back. And let's not forget that even with this Z51, the Corvette is still a very comfortable daily driver, but without it, it's even that much more comfortable. By the way, if you're looking for a supercar that can be your daily driver, this is probably the best thing out there, especially with this type of performance. Whether you go for the Z51 and do 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds, or go for the non-Z51 and do 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds or less, doesn't matter. As a daily comfortable driver, this thing is outstanding. You'll still have all the power under the hood when you want it. You'll still have this outstanding exterior design, which always turns heads just like a supercar should. The interior looks and feels outstanding even 2 years later. It definitely has aged really well and it still feels very modern, and the materials in here are really top notch. Whether you're considering getting the Corvette with the Z51 or without it, you're gonna love it either way. I would recommend, if you can stretch your budget, to go for the Z51 because it will give you that extra kick when you need it, but either way, you're gonna enjoy the hell out of it. I get the whole debate out there that if you're gonna buy the Corvette, you have to get the Z51 because it gives you the complete package and the complete performance. But there are people out there that don't want to spend the extra $6,000, or people that have come to an age where they're not going to track this every weekend. For them, this is the perfect option, as long as they go for the 2LT, because that gives you all the comforts with the heated and cooled seats and everything else. For those that will track this, the Z51 will definitely help you with better steering, better brakes, and will definitely take you to the next level. These shifts are still so lightning fast. They're not Porsche PDK fast, but still very quick. Love it. That said, to me, this is definitely a supercar, and if you're still a bit pessimistic, if you're one of those people that sits behind the keyboard and tears apart cars just for fun, there is something on the way that's even crazier than this, the Z06. That will be powered by a 5.5-liter V8 making 670 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque. It will be mated to the same 8-speed dual-clutch transmission that you have here, but will do 0 to 60 in less than 2.5 seconds. That's absolutely insane, and rumor has it that it will still cost under $100,000. And if at that point you still don't consider the Corvette a supercar, then I'm done convincing you. Go drive one and then we'll talk. Either way, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. My handle is @OmarDrives. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care. Peace. Still so good. Things are sliding around here, but whatever. Honestly, I'm still amazed how this thing costs less than $100,000. And the fact that the Z06 will be still less than $100,000 is just mind-blowing.